And we're live. Hi, everyone. I guess you guys have been waiting. So, today is a very breezy Sunday, and I hope that all of you are following the SOPs, staying home, listening to all the advice from MKN to not go out if it's not necessary. We'll wait for 15 people to join the stream. In the meantime, please share this session. If you think this will help someone, inspire someone, benefit them, share this with them, and of course, engage with us. Like it, love it. More importantly, we want to hear from you. And today we have someone, a very very special friend and guest with me. She's a really really strong person and really cheerful all the time. And like I said, today's topic is related to Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The last weekend for Pink October, the counter jumped to 21 people. So we have 15 people on the stream. So hi everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to Talking Live with Macy. Thank you for spending your Sunday afternoon here with me once again. I'm so happy to see all of you. This means that you guys are staying home and staying safe. Like the MKN advice, it's time for us to actually play a part in being responsible and to stay at home. That's what we can do to help flatten the curve. All right. So last weekend, if you joined me, we were talking about breast cancer as well with Dr. Hajit Kaur. It was such an insightful session. So many of you joined the stream. You asked many relevant questions. So if you did not catch it, scroll down all the way, maybe 3 or 4 posts, and you will be able to see it. It's still there. And I'll do a little bit of a recap. We talked extensively about early detection. She was advising everyone above the age of 25 to start doing ultrasounds on their breasts, and above the age of 40 to start mammograms once every 2 years. She says it's very important, especially if you have family history of breast cancer, to start at the age of 35, in fact. And we talk about the various treatments and how breast cancer is detected and the symptoms. So if you want to find out more, scroll down and you'll be able to see the session with Dr. Hajit Kaur. Today, specifically, is a session for all of you to be inspired and to find out more about a breast cancer patient's journey. We have Navi Indran Pillai. She is an amazing person. She's a friend of mine, and she's a breast cancer patient currently, was a breast cancer survivor before this. She has been battling breast cancer for the past 8 years, since the age of 22. That's a huge feat. So relapse 2 years ago when she was 28. She just turned 30. So happy birthday, Navi.
Thank
and
you.
She currently works and is a volunteer at the National Cancer Society of Malaysia, trying to spread awareness about breast cancer and the various cancers out there. So I'm going to jump straight to the questions. If you guys have questions for her as well, hi everyone. Remember to start commenting away. We want to hear from you. So let me introduce Navi Indran Pillai once again, a breast cancer patient and fighter. She's amazing. Been battling breast cancer for the past 8 years. So Navi, hi.
Hi, hello. Thank you so much, Maisie, for actually having me on your show. I'm super excited, super stoked, by the way, to speak to you, speak to everybody, and to help those who are going through any terminal illness, as well as battling your mental health, and also this pandemic. So, hello everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes. So Navi, I'm going to jump straight to the questions. My first question for you is, how do you feel when you were first diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 22?
Okay, so this is a question that I actually almost get it all the time. Like almost all the time I get this question, and this is always the first question. And as I mentioned, I have gone through this whole cancer thing, and being a 22-year-old going through it, I never expected it. So at that point of time, I think I was like shocked, and I didn't understand the severity of the case. You're 22, you don't think that this will happen to you. You see it in the movies, You see it with your, the older generation, like your grandparents or your aunties, your uncles, but you don't see it when you're like at that age, and you think that it's something that you will never get. But little did I know, I got it, and yeah, I was very shocked and confused. I don't know what it was. So yeah,
So I
shocked,
guess that's
confused, overwhelmed.
yes, I
Yeah,
felt the same way. All right, but
yeah.
yours was at the age of 22, so that's
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, I think for any age, I think for any
I
age, it's
agree.
something really, really like you just don't expect it, that expect that it will happen to you. Yeah,
So true. So the next question then would be, what were the symptoms that lead you to your diagnosis? I think everybody wants to know that.
yeah. So I think for cases and cases it varies. Like for me, I felt a lump on my left breast, and I went to the general practitioner to have a look at it, and then they actually referred me to a specialist. And then even the specialist was like, "Nah, this is not what it is." Of course, I didn't know. My mom was thinking of the worst. My mom was like, "Okay, this is something's not right. Something's not right." But for me, it was like, it's really nothing. But even for the specialist, because of my age and my, like, I didn't have any like history of breast cancer or cancer, um so she was like, it's really benign, and this happens a lot with younger women because of their hormones and everything. So they do get, like, little small cysts, polyps, small little tumors that grows in their breast, just before their menses period and stuff like that. So the doctor was really positive and was like, no, it's a benign. However, my mom was, I mean, thankfully, my mom was really, really, she was like, no, I want it checked, get an ultrasound, do what you have to do, get a biopsy, everything. Like, my mom was really like, no, get it checked. So, of course, went on, getting it checked via ultrasound, and then the doctors felt like it was a little bit fishy, and then got a biopsy. So really, it's just like a transition of things. So it varies from patient to patient. It could be a lump, it could be, a weird shape. Your breast becomes weirdly shaped. You feel like there's a pimple on your breast. It could be what it is, so things like that. So for me, it was a lump. So if you feel that it's like if you feel like your breast looks weird today, it's one side like shaped weirdly, go get it checked immediately. It could be nothing, but it could be something that could actually change your life and save you. And it's not like something that you need to be afraid of. Getting it checked at an earlier stage is better than a later stage. So even if you feel that something's not right, it could be nothing, but if it's something, it could change. It could help you. It could save you. So yeah,
Thank God for your mom then.
yeah. Mom really, really pushed me. I didn't want
Yeah.
to go and check with the doctor. I was like this, like, no, it's nothing kind of attitude that I had. But now
I
I'm like,
mean, we
no,
were young, of course.
yeah.
Like
So you
who
have
would think of
that.
cancer?
Correct. And at that point of time, what, like, for me, it was just like, it it's nothing. You know how us Malaysians, we see a little
Yeah,
bump, we be like, nah, it's nothing. But it was actually something. So, take away that, get rid of that attitude, of like, it's nothing. Go get it checked. Even if you feel it's nothing, get it checked.
agreed. So you had a relapse in 2018. How do you
Yes.
feel when you received the news?
I was actually disappointed that my cancer had come back. I tried to take care of myself as the best that I could, but I was really disappointed when it returned, because I thought I had finished my battle with it. I got through with it, and for it to have come back, I was like, what did I do wrong? I started to blame myself for it, but really, we can't blame anybody. This disease is actually something that creeps in unknowingly. You don't know when it happens to you, why it happens to you, how it happens to you. There's a lot of questions that even researchers are actually asking, like, why is this happening to people? But yeah, at that point of time, I was really, really just disappointed. I was sad. I was shattered. But most of all, I was very disappointed. I was
I'm
like in
sorry.
this
And
lost state of like, what's going to happen now? Because it's far worse now. It's like stage 4, and then you're like, am I going to live? Am I going to die? What's going to happen? What am I going to do now? Uh, you're just like in a state of lost. So like it was just like a mixed emotion. I didn't even know how I felt like at that point of time. And then people started to ask me in the later on, and then people started to ask me, how did you feel? And I really sat and wondered, how did I feel? Like I had disappointment, I was lost, I was confused, I was sad. It's like a whole bunch of emotions just come into you, and you're like, what's happening? Yeah, it was a nightmare. It
I
was really a nightmare. Yeah.
the most important part is that you're here in front of us and you're
Yes.
smiling. So uh, thank
Yes.
God that phase of disappointment has passed. Time has in a way healed that part, and now you're
Yeah.
moving on to the next phase, which is looking forward to life. Although
Yes.
you're still undergoing treatment. So, talking about treatment, can you share with us your current treatment as you're still undergoing targeted therapy, and how long will it
Correct.
last?
Okay, so for targeted therapy it's actually you normally have like a certain number of times that you have targeted chemotherapy. However, in my condition, my cancer cells are quite aggressive, very aggressive, and doctors are seeing that this targeted therapy is working for me and working well for me. So at this point of time, they're still finding out how long I need to be on it, but so long it's working for me, I will keep going, like being on it. I've asked my doctor this question a lot of times, and he has asked, a lot of specialists and oncologists around the world, and even they said, like, so long it's working for her, keep her on it. So it's for now I can say it's lifetime, but hopefully it comes to an end, like where the doctor just tells me, yep, you're done, you're finished, you don't need to go for these treatments anymore. Yeah, I'm actually just waiting for that day for them to just tell
So,
me, yeah, you don't.
you still have cancer cells in the body, right?
Okay, so all of us have cancer cells. It's whether it's aggressively growing or
Yes.
not, right? So what the targeted therapy does is, right. My cells are constantly growing. So what this does is it stops the growth. It suppresses the growth. So it probably, okay, for example, let's just say a tree is growing or a plant is growing, right? And I throw like this layer of soil on it, and it can't grow anymore. It's like a Malay would say like some lapis. So it's like a layer, yeah, like a layer, like so it doesn't allow it to grow. So that's what targeted chemotherapy, and it only targets that particular cells. So your other cells are not being destroyed. Like how chemotherapy kills your whole entire cells. It does not care whether it's your good cells, your bad cells. It kills all cells. But targeted chemotherapy, the name targeted is because it targets the cancer cells only, and that particular cancer cells.
So, in terms
So,
of staging, has your cancer dropped in stages? Is it
um,
stage three now?
okay, so my cancer has dropped to stage 0, so they cannot find any cancer cells. So that's like, yay.
Amazing.
Exactly. It's
Yay!
like, yay. So chemo worked for me, and so right after my chemo, my 6 rounds of chemo, I went for a PET scan. A PET scan is done when you want to check if whether you have cancer cells and how the cancer cells have progressed to any other organs, or are they local. So when I went after the 6 rounds of chemotherapy, they found no traces of cancer cells, and I actually saw it, like the one that I did before cancer chemotherapy, and the one after the 6 rounds of chemotherapy. I was overwhelmed and of joy. Like I was so happy because I actually saw it with my own eyes. How, like, the comparison to the first and the second PET scan, and I was like, wow, this is magical, magical.
I'm so happy for you, and I'm sure
Yeah.
everyone is. as well. So, your birthday, you've just turned 30, and I know it is a milestone, especially
Yes.
for any young cancer patients. So, how do
Yes.
you feel about reaching 30?
Um, I guess it was more emotional for me because being a cancer survivor for the past like 8 years, you never think about reaching a certain age. Like right now, being in the new decade, which is the three series, um, the three series, the most amazing series. It was so emotional for me actually. I was counting down to the day I turned 30. I guess because you just never know like what was going to happen, and I felt very, very, very happy that I was able to step into that new phase. And this new phase, there's like so many things to look forward for, like, maybe buying a new house or getting married or, maybe having children, those kind of things. I think this is the time where we actually start thinking about your future, like, in terms of, life partner, maybe you want, a new job or a new something. I don't know. For me, it's just that. So I'm so excited to actually turn 30. A lot of us will be like, oh, we're 30, you know? But for me, it's like 30. So yeah,
Happy
excited.
birthday again.
Thank
And I'm
you.
so
Thank you so
happy
much.
you're 30. So, okay, going back to cancer, you were working in Australia when the second relapse hit. So, what
Yeah.
made you decide to come back to Malaysia to continue treatment?
Okay, so basically, when I was in Australia, I didn't know that what like was I having cancer or not. Like I didn't know. Only when I came back to Malaysia and I came back for a holiday actually to be with my family. So only then I actually found out, like going for my regular checkups, like routine checkups. So only then I actually found out that I had stage four. Like after I went for like the ultrasounds and all these things. So then after that, I decided to just stay back in Malaysia for treatments because I trusted my doctors here. When I wanted to go and migrate to Australia, so it was like I had to think so much about my medical and my health because I I built like a family here. Like my doctors are like my family, and it was so difficult for me to like transition. So actually, when I was in Australia, I always came back to Malaysia so that I could seek like my doctors, see my doctors and stuff like that. So like every 4 months, I'll come back. So like it didn't change for me. So the moment I was diagnosed, I was like, no, I'm going to be staying in Malaysia and doing it. Although after finishing my treatments, I wanted to go back to Australia, but because of my lifetime treatment, targeted therapy, I was like, what, it's okay. I can be here and be with my family and closer to my friends, my family, and home. So yeah,
Okay. So it was a decision already made in
yeah,
advance.
yeah,
So I would like you to actually share with the rest of everyone here to make them understand more about targeted therapy.
yeah.
Having targeted therapy for the rest of your life, right? How does it affect you, your body?
Okay, so targeted therapy actually is not as bad as chemotherapy. The side effects are much lesser impact than compared to targeted. So targeted, you have like feeling lethargic, you feel tired, you have joint ache pains. You sometimes have nausea feeling, but not as bad as chemo. You have constipation. That's quite bad. So I go through very bad constipation, diarrhea. But yeah, again it depends. And you have migraines, you have all these side effects, but I have the ones that I listed is what I have. But apparently, you have a lot more. When I googled it, you have a lot more. But so far, these are the ones that I go through. Some people go through like lose your appetite, things like that. But for me, it's not as severe as how chemotherapy was. So it's not too bad. However, it is financially constraining. Um, the drug itself is very, very expensive, and not everyone can go for targeted chemotherapy. So targeted chemotherapy, it depends on your the characteristics of
Yeah.
the cancer and the type of cancer and your body, if your body can take it. So it's a lot of things. And these drugs are cytotoxic drugs, right? So being cytotoxic, being sorry, tongue twister, being cytotoxic drugs, they are very harmful to your body. So your immune system is affected, your whole body is different. You feel different. Like sometimes you get these weird pains that you don't even understand what it is. So but it's much better than chemotherapy, if you ask me. I don't mind going for targeted therapy anytime than compared to chemotherapy, because I lost my hair, and that was something that was really really traumatizing for me. It was something that I had to like battle with my own mental health, because it really really was making me feel so down. And yeah, so targeted therapy is something that you really need to speak to a doctor about if you can go for it and if you're financially capable, because it's very, very, very expensive. So I advise everyone right now to go on insurance and because like I said, cancer just happens at we don't know when it's going to happen. So like insurance really really was one of the things that actually helped me to decide if I should go for targeted therapy or not, because of the financial constraints of it. So yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
No
Um,
worries.
So my last question for you is that you're currently living life to your fullest. And by the way, Navi dances traditional Indian dance. So she's dancing away as well. So could you share with us, how do you go through your daily life now? Is there any difference?
There's actually a lot of difference. So a lot of us look at cancer and negatively, and as much as it's negative, I mean, like it's something that can take our loved ones away. We struggle through it. It really, really changed the way I started to look at life. I started to look at life differently than normal people would. Because for you, it's like for me, it's just like living in the now. It doesn't matter what's going to happen tomorrow. Is it's something that we don't know. So what we do is we live every day to the fullest and happily. So that's what I tell people who are not going through terminal illnesses also. Like it's okay even if you don't have an illness. Try to live life in the now. Like live life today for the present, instead of you thinking about the future, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So if we don't do things that we love now, then what are we living for? We only live the life once, so live it to the fullest. So that's what I advocate for living life happily and being grateful for life. Like gone through cancer twice, so I literally like skipped that, and just like dodged the ball, literally dodged the bullet by, I don't know, 1 point maybe. But that's how we have to look at life, that every day we're going to be living the life that we want. This is our life. We get to decide um, whether this is going to be beneficial for us, or making us happy and things like that. So that's one thing that cancer has done for me, and I'm really grateful for cancer, is being being able to live the life that I always like wanted. Maybe certain things, like I really wanted to move to Australia, and but I'm here in Malaysia right now, and it's okay. Like I will try and make it my dream as well, and create new goals. But also, who knows, maybe tomorrow I might move to Australia, we don't know. That kind of thing. So I think that's the importance of life. Life gives us a box of lemons, and you don't just have to make lemonade, you can make lemon cakes. You can make,
Yeah, so true.
you don't have to just make lemonade, you can make anything out of lemons. So yeah,
So
make
true.
anything. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's not, everybody always says like you need to make lemons out of lemon. Need to make lemonade out of lemons, but you actually can make a lot of things out of lemons.
That's so true. I love your philosophy on life, and to be
Yeah.
honest, I'm also grateful for having cancer, for the experience
Yes. The
and the journey that
experience.
it has given me.
Yeah, it
So
really, really
now,
changes your perspective.
yes, I think both of us are older than the people our age in terms of mental age, right?
I would say so lah. Sometimes, but
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like a kid. I'm a child.
Okay, so I guess I'm going to take questions from all of the audience now. So my mother-in-law, Gimbi Yo, she asks, she says you look great. You don't look like a person undergoing targeted therapy. So how do you
Thank you.
keep yourself so emotionally positive?
Okay, so basically, I'm only human. So sometimes I do have my negative side where I fall, and it's okay. Sometimes you just need a break. So it's okay for you to just sit in your room and cry. But tell yourself that today is going to be the day I'm going to sit in the room and cry. Tomorrow is going to be the day I'm going to go out there and smile and cheer someone up. Because I've had my day of crying, so now I'm going to have my day of cheering somebody else. That's what I always tell myself. I do have my down days. I'm not always this positive. Positive books helps a lot, like this self growth, self
I
growing books.
agree.
You don't have to finish the book. You don't have to go from chapter 1 to chapter 10. If you see chapter 9 and it's something that's connecting to you, read chapter 9. If you see that you don't want to finish the book, you don't have to finish the book. See another book that is going to be beneficial for you. Take the book, buy the book, read the book, or read it online. Those kind of things. Follow pages that helps you grow mentally. Sometimes you can't think of the positive thing that's happening. Sometimes I go like, why me? Why me? But then when you're scrolling on Instagram, that why me, the answer would just come up. I don't know how it happens for me that suddenly a post will come up and I'll be like, oh my God, I was just asking this question. And there you have like a post answering your question, law of attraction. So those kind of things help me. I also do a lot of therapy, helpful therapies, like, I like to bake, I like to cook, so that helps me a lot. I like to do art, that helps me a lot, even though I'm not an artist and I suck at sorry, but bad at drawing and things like that. But I just do it for me, coloring and stuff like that. So those kind of things helps me out.
That's true. Having interests and cultivating it.
Yeah, and
Um,
even if you're bad at it, just do it.
yeah, agreed. Guys, if you have questions, it's time for you to ask Navi now because we are taking questions. So Serene Fong asks, are you taking immunotherapy? You're not, right? You're taking
No, I'm
targeted.
not. Yes. Immunotherapy is another type of cancer treatment, a totally different type of cancer treatment
Yes.
that you can discuss with your doctors if you need it or not. Because some people don't need it. So for me, I didn't. So immunotherapy is what I understand from immunotherapy is that if chemotherapy does not work for you, then you try immunotherapy. Only if your doctors say okay to it,
Advise you. Yeah.
advise you to go for it. Other than that, stick to the normal cancer treatment procedure, which is, chemotherapy,
Yeah.
radiation, those kind of things.
I think more importantly for everyone out there, speak to your doctors, and because every
Yes,
cancer is different, so you might have a
different.
different treatment and even
Correct.
different side effects.
Yeah. So
Okay.
always have a good communication, a good
Yeah.
relationship with your doctor because he's literally going to be your best friend throughout your cancer journey. So treat your doctor like your best friend. Talk to him or her about everything that's going wrong with you, everything that's going right with you. Talk to your oncologist, who's your best friend throughout this journey.
Yes. Okay, so Miss Lee Xiaotin asks, what are the type of targeted drugs that you're receiving? And can you share with her the rough cost of the drugs?
Okay.
And whether you're HER2
So
positive?
yes, so I am HER2 positive. So with HER2 positive, normally they give you Herceptin. But because my case was a little bit more severe, so they threw in Perjeta as well. So Perjeta and Herceptin is what I'm receiving. And the rough cost for the drugs right now, I'm going for is actually not the rough, it's actually the exact cost, which is 11,000 per drug, and I also have to pay for my hospital bills, so that's probably about 2 to 4K every 3 weeks. So yeah, why to plus the both is about like 13 to 15 grand every month, every 3 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
Yes.
So that gives you guys a rough figure. So I guess those are the questions that everyone has. If you have more questions, please go ahead and ask now. Other than that, thanks a lot, Navi, for joining
Thank you
today's
so much.
session.
I had so much
I can't
fun.
wait to see you soon.
I know.
Yeah, it's been
Pandemic and
so
everything. Oh
long.
my god. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been so long. And yeah, thank you so much for actually having me on your show. I hope people get a lot of insightful information from her show, because she does so many amazing shows. She has so many amazing special guests that she features in her show. I hope one day she features herself in the show. But
No.
her journey. And yeah, thank you so much. Doing an amazing job.
Thanks. Thank you so much, Navi, for joining us. And for those of you who are still here, please tune in November, because we're going to talk extensively about lung cancer. We have actually the president of the Malaysian Oncological Society on board on the second week of November. And the third and fourth week, we're going to talk extensively about immunotherapy with Professor To, and we are going to talk about targeted therapy with Dr. Tan. So we have all the experts on board in November, and we're going to talk a lot about lung cancer because it's Lung Cancer Awareness Month. So join us during that session. And next week, I'm taking a break because it's my birthday week. So yeah, I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys on the 8th of November. That will be my first session for lung cancer awareness. We have the president of the Malaysian Oncological Society for that session. So I'll see you guys then. Okay, remember, join us, and we're going to have such a good and informative session. Thanks a lot, Navi. Thank you all for
Thank
your
you.
questions.
Thank you, Maisie. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye. Have a good Sunday.